I went to my local bank about a year ago. I went to my local bank, and this is what it looked like. I walked in and I almost walked out. Wasn't sure where I was. Did they move? It looked like a hotel lobby or something, but actually, no. This is today's banking. Basically, they moved to ATMs and online banking and all that stuff. This is just a little reception to meet people if you want a mortgage or something, but your day-to-day banking is all gone self-serve. Remember McDonald's from a few years ago? This is what it looked like. You walked up to a counter, you talked to a friendly face, with smiling person, you get a smile with your Big Mac meal. Not anymore. Now you walk up to these terminals, you enter everything on your own. The order gets placed in the kitchen, they package it, they give you a bag, and you carry away. Grocery stores, long time ago, this is what they looked like. Basically, you walk up, you give your list to someone, and they will go collect things for you and give you the package. Today, actually started in 1916. Piggly Wiggly was actually historically the first company that came out with self-serve stores where you can actually walk around and pick things on your own. And that's the modern supermarket. You walk around, pick things, look things, compare things and so forth, and pick what you want. We could do that, but we still have to face a checkout counter where you go up and someone else will be checking you out and all that stuff. Well, now that's changed as well. Now it's all self-serve. So the retail stores, lots of restaurants and so forth have gone into basically you placing the order by yourself, you checking out yourself, you paying for it all by yourself. And somehow they might monitor that a little bit here and there, but more or less you're doing all the work yourself. And then Amazon has gone one step further. Actually, you walk into these Amazon Go stores and there is no checkout. You walk in, you pick out the things that you want, and more or less you walk out. So they've even eliminated the checkout process, all self-serve, no steps along the way. And then lastly, just a couple of weeks ago, I was in London. I went to the airport to check in and drop off my baggage, and this is what I came across. No people, no counters. Basically, you walk in, you type in everything on your own, you scan in your barcoded boarding pass if you printed it at home. You put your luggage inside these things, it weighs it, it looks at the dimensions and everything, and lets you know if it's okay or if you have to pay extra and so forth. All self-serve. So I've seen the whole world is going self-serve. So we're wondering, and I've seen a few storms, maintenance storms, MO storms go self-serve, but not too many. So I'm wondering why not? What are the advantages of self-serve? Why retailers doing it, why restaurants doing it, why airlines doing it, why gas stations, why banks, everyone's doing it. Why are not organizations that have large storms, why are they not doing it? Well, let's look at the advantages first. The advantages of self-serve, okay, is your operating costs are reduced significantly, right? Basically, that's the key driver for most retailers. But in your case, your store personnel can be doing a lot more productive and strategic activities in your organization. Okay. Right now, there's always someone waiting. Either the store person is waiting for someone to come to the counter to ask for something, or when a technician comes and asks for something, and the store person goes to collect it and pick it, the technician is sitting around waiting for something. That's really inefficient use of both of these people's times. Okay. If you could free them up, if you didn't have to man the store all the time, sit at the counter, wait for someone to go picking when they come, they could be doing more advanced picking and staging in advance. They could be organizing and scheduling deliveries to job sites. They could be managing more satellite storms that are closer to the actual job site. They could be analyzing and setting min-max values, the reorder quantities, and so forth, select vendor selection, and so forth. They could work on the layout of the storeroom, make it more efficient, more effective, place the location of the various parts based on usage and traffic and so forth. They could handle discrepancies and address inventory issues that are reported by tradespeople. They could be doing item master cleanup and management and so much more than just sitting there waiting for someone to come and ask for a part. And the advantages of self-serve to the technicians, sometimes picking things on your own is better for the requester. I know when I go to a store, I like to look at different products, different versions of the product, different sizes. I like to hold it, expect, turn it around, look at it, touch it, feel it, and pick the one that I think is the best. I know what's best. The requester knows what's best, what they really need. Okay, it's let them make the selection process. And sometimes parts are hard to describe. Sometimes the requester can't really act to properly describe the part to a storeroom person, and then the storeroom person will go back and forth until they finally get the right part. So wasting everyone's time. You can also allow for better service after hours. Right now, many organizations after hours, they lock up the storeroom. If the requester wants something, they have to get their supervisor or someone to unlock it. So they have to search for the supervisor. The supervisor come over, has to unlock it, has to wait for the person to go pick the stuff that they want and all that. Very inefficient for both people's time. Okay. And then lastly, you can have more satellite storerooms that are closer to job sites. For if you have an organization that's geographically dispersed, very large site, or okay, having storms closer to the actual job locations can save a lot of walking back and forth for the technicians. So if there are so many advantages, why aren't there more open storerooms? Well, the main concern I hear from people is that technicians may walk away with things, right? They may take things and not report it. And then we'll end up with lots of stockouts. And who's going to get blamed for the stockouts? Of course, the store management team will be blamed for it. So the store management team is very apprehensive of that. And I agree. Stockouts are bad. They need to be avoided. Recording usage is critical. But fundamentally, I believe the technicians do not want stockouts either. Okay, they would rather have the parts when they need them and so forth. They don't want it out. So, as such, they understand the concept, they understand how it works, and they would be willing to record usage if it's not too inconvenient. Okay, so the argument is if it makes it convenient, they'll use it. And some people argue, well, really? Will they actually use it? Well, let's look at something comparable. Okay, shop in your shopping mall, the shopping cart returns. No one forces you to return your shopping cart, but most people will return shopping cart to the collection station, like illustrated right here. Why does this work? There's no policing, there's no rewarding, there's nothing that people generally do it. Well, when does this not work? Okay, well, one, if it's a toxic environment, if the people don't like the retailer, they think the retailer is ripping them off or is treating their employees bad or whatever, if, okay, that toxic environment, then the people might not cooperate. They might leave carts wherever. Okay. And similarly, if you have bad management and labor relationships, that might occur as well. So if that's the case, you've got more important things to worry about than the open storeroom. So to worry about those things. But for most organizations, that's not the case. Most organizations treat their employees, labor respectfully. They have a good relationship with them. They're organized, they have a common goal. And if that's the case, this can work for you. Now, what's some of the other reasons? Well, bad weather. Okay, in stores, sometimes there's a thunderstorm, raining, all that stuff. People just leave the cart and drive off. But that's not the case here. Your most storms are indoors, so that wouldn't be affecting the situation here. Desirable goods. Well, there are some goods that people might want. I know shopping carts, some people take them home and use them for storage and moving things and all that stuff. Um, and stores put geographic geolocks on those things so that if they leave the store vicinity, the wheels will not spin. Okay, same thing here. If you have batteries and stuff like that, well, maybe those things should be in the locked storeroom or perhaps in a vending machine so that you have to report such usage. Okay, but there's not many things like that in the most industrial settings. Most goods are basically stuff that you can't use at home. There's no dual usage. You more or less use it at work and that's it. And then there's bad actors. Some people just refuse to play along. No matter what, they just can't be bothered. Okay. In those cases, well, you may have to do something. You may have to manage them. In the shopping carts situation, they put a deposit. You put like a dollar or 50 cents or something in there so that you get that back when you return it to help manage the process. You could do something similar with the video camera to encourage people that, hey, look, someone's watching, play along. Okay. And then lastly, too inconvenient. Where I've seen this not work is when the shopping cart collection station is far away. You've got to walk a long distance to take it there, walk back. When the people see that, they just give up on it. So the key is make it reasonably convenient for people. And when you do, I think in most cases it does work. So if retailers can do it, why not your storeroom? Okay, retailers can have self-checkout, self-service, all that stuff. Okay, and they deal with third parties, which is a lot tougher. They got to deal with financial issues of payment and all that stuff. Okay, you deal with your fellow employees. We're on the same team, have common goals. And in general, generally employees want to do good and they want to help the team effort. So it should really, in theory, be easier to implement. But your processes, your systems may be problematic. Okay, the user interface, the process you follow, the input, instead of scanning in an item, you have to type it in. What input tools you use. System may have inappropriate data. System may resist some common terminology and some common data entry and so forth. So there's lots of resistance to perhaps to your process or to your system to make this happen, to make it too easy for the technicians to use. How do stores get around that? Well, they don't give you a register like their cashiers use. What they do is they give you a nice, user-friendly, very, very different process to record your order. And when you're checking out and paying, they don't give you a cash register with the cash in there, say, go ahead, just put some money in there, you'll leave the rest. No, they give you one of these machines with a credit card, the tool. They basically tap and you pay for it. It's a very different process than the cashiers use who are trained technical experts in using a cash register versus the occasional user that just comes along and just wants to pay for their stuff. Okay. And yes, they do report, they do have video monitoring just to make sure everything's going by okay. Now, what do you need to do to enable self-serve? Well, first of all, what not to do. Don't give them the same screens. Just like the stores don't give them the same cash register machines, do not give them the same technology and software. Give them something different. Okay. Don't give them pen and paper. Pen and paper gets lost. It's inconsistent. It doesn't validate and so forth. That's not the solution. What you need to do is you give them self-serve processes and technology similar to what the retailers have. And what we did was we looked at two models out there. One is the Amazon Go, which is basically it's all camera driven, recorded, and everything just happens automatically. That's really cool technology, but it's actually quite new and it's very expensive. The other technology that we thought was reasonable was Sam's Club Scan and Go. People who shop at Sam's Club, you might be familiar with this. Okay, the Scan and Go shopping experience is relatively straightforward. Three steps. You open up the app when you get to the store. As you're putting things in your cart, you scan, and on the way out, you press the pay button and you go. Okay, what we do, more or less copy that process, except at the end, instead of showing your receipt or you show your app to the person checking out, basically you go to a kiosk and you enter the transactions, enter the charging information, in this case, a work order, for example, or a GL number, and off you go. So the process. Okay, these are the things basically a mobile solution, a mobile device. It could be your phone, your tablet, anything. A kiosk station where there's a big screen where you can see the items that you took. You can specify the charging number and check out. And basically an RFID reader that basically you take an employee card, you tap it, and it identifies you and logs you in. Kiosk process is very simple. You walk around, pick items, okay, you specify the quantity, and you check out. How do you do that? Well, you go like this, simply scan in the items that you took. You specify the quantity. Basically, you can use the scanning to specify quantity. One scan is quantity of one, two scans is two, three is three, and so on. Or you can type it in. So if you took 20, instead of having to scan in 20 times, you can just type in 20. Okay. And basically, you walk up to the kiosk. Okay. You transfer the information from the mobile device to the kiosk. You look at the list on a big screen, have a keyboard and so forth. It's easy data entry, and you specify the work order number, and you check out and you walk out. It's as simple as that. So you come in here, you tap your employee ID here. That logs you in, identifies you, logs you in. Okay. You use your handheld device to scan in this barcode. That automatically transfers the list of things that you took to the kiosk. It displays the list. You look at this list, there is no charging information. Okay. You specify the work order number. It applies it to all the transactions or one at a time, and you check out. Okay. You specify the work order number, and you press the checkout button, and you walk away. That's straight, simple, that fast, straightforward. Okay. The key is give them proper tools. They want to work, they want to cooperate, they want to record, they don't want stockouts. Give them the tools to make it easy, and they will do it. So our solution is a mobile solution that captures the transaction and nothing else. It's a simple scan in, just record what item you took. Okay, a kiosk for self-serve to validate and finalize and support and specify the work order number. And then there's companion applications to make corrections and so forth on desktop, but we don't have time to go into that right now. Okay, the key is there's really no need for policing. But if you feel you need some policing, perhaps you can use some items could be off in vending machines or staff storerooms, or you can have a video camera to record on the entrance and exit just to do a little extra checking and validation. But in most cases, people are more than happy to record the transactions they took because it's simple enough to do so, and they want to have accurate inventory. At the end of the day, cost, benefits, everything has to come down to a benefit. Basically, automation has costs. They have to outweigh, they can't outweigh the benefit. Our solution is very cost effective. It is using off-the-shelf, common, commercially available components. It's similar to the model deployed at Sam's Club. So if you know how to use Sam's Club, you will know how to use our solution. And we believe the Samsung Go may be the solution of the future, but right now it's way too expensive. So right now, the model we try to deploy and has been working quite effectively with a number of our customers is the Sam's Club model. So that's it. Thank you very much. This did 15 minutes. That's a solution. If you'd like to see a more detailed demo, more deep dive, further discussion of your requirements and so forth, please contact us and we could do this. This was a simple intro to give you an idea of what we're trying to get to, why we think it's important, why we think the whole world is moving to self-serve, why maybe you should consider moving to self-serve. You can service your technicians better. You can free up your storeroom personnel to do more value-add activities. Okay, and you can have more satellite storerooms to better, place goods close, parts closer to the job sites that they'll be used at. That's it. Thank you very much. Now, there are two. Are there any? Now, we're done. If you want to drop off, feel free to drop off. If you have any questions, I'm open to taking questions.
Thank you,
If
Mike.
not, if not, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
Have a good day. Season's greetings to everyone. If you celebrate, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If you can stop recording.